good.
Karl, let me ask you now. Karl, you will be a little bit unnerved about this. Have you seen the film Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
You know what happened there? Well, according to the Sun here, it says scientists are planning to clone mammoths for a theme park. Look at his face, look at that, he looks like a dog caught in the headlights of a car, he's terrified.
I love Karl.
He's sprung to attention
Karl.
there.
Is that the best news you could have?
Man moths.
Right.
Yeah, man moths.
I
man
love
moths.
the fact that that's why he was so excited that they've bred a man moth. What is this? Yeah, it's a human being that hides in your wardrobe and eats an entire jacket in a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean, man moths? Mammoths. Mammoth, the big hairy cow
heard of
from the
mammoth?
Ice Age. I mean, elephant.
You're not so excited about that, then? You can take or leave bringing back mammoths to life, but a man moth...
A man moth is a different matter. Oh, if we'd have never brought that up, he'd have gone and told someone now.
Yeah.
You know, they've bred an half man, half moth.
This
and
is
that's
what
how,
we
This is how
mean.
things start.
This is what we mean when you hear
don't-
these ghost
Are you
stories.
slightly deaf? Is that it? When you hear these stories, is it?
Karl, is English your first language? Are you actually foreign? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Should we speak
when we say
slower?
foreign, we mean not of this planet.
Yeah. Should we speak slower? Would that be a help to you?
No, go on. Next
What do you
one.
make of
Do
that?
you think that's good?
The
Would you think
idea
that's
of
good to
bringing
bring back mammoths?
prehistoric animals.
These giant elephants.
They're slow, aren't they? It's not as if they're gonna, like, get out and run fast and they can't capture them.
They'd probably be a fence, to be honest, Karl. They'd probably be a fence.
No, but you're asking it as if, like, oh, it could all go wrong, but it couldn't, could it?
Well,
Really?
but the point was about Jurassic Park is they thought it wouldn't go wrong. They thought they had it all under
Yeah, but
control.
that was
Have you learned
dinosaurs.
nothing from Jurassic Park, Karl?
Dinosaurs would say, oh, think about it before you do it. But with a hairy elephant, it's not gonna...
Not a concern for you. Would you go along to see him? Would you be interested in that?
If it was in the area.
He's great, isn't he? I'd love a queue,
Nothing
right?
impresses
No,
him.
but what I'd like to do is Karl sitting like Yoda in a little cave, and I'd just like to see people like Tony Blair and, you know, Stephen Hawkins in a queue, and they go and say, Karl, got a bit of a problem,
And thinking of cloning a man and a moth. Problem? Not an issue. No, if I'm in the area, I might cruise around and have a look at it. Otherwise, just don't send it near my clothes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's just for a second. As the words man moth came into your head, how excited were you? I mean, were you both terrified and excited? Just for the moment when you thought that they'd cloned a man and a moth.
I pictured,
what kind of face did he have? Did he have the moth's head, or was it a man's head?
just a little man head.
Right, what was his face? What did it look like?
He just was like a bit shocked.
Perplexed, yeah.
Yeah,
it was like he'd been grafted onto the body of a moth without his consent.
And when he was asleep,
yeah, he'd woken up.
he just went in to have a goiter removed, and they said, we've
He
replaced
woke
your
up with
goiter with the body of a giant moth.
Yeah.
Is that alright, Mr. Jenkins?
So he had the head of a little. Was it a little boy or a man?
little man,
Right. Okay.
and he's just bumping into a lamp.
He's just bumping into a.
And it's alright for you to go into women's toilets when you're a kid. It's like, oh, it's a bit cute, right? As long as you're not, like, over 15 or something, right?
Right.
But when I was a kid, I went into a toilet, and women, when they use their little cubicles, they don't shut the door. Some of them just sit down on the toilet,
Yeah.
right? And you see everything. And, no, seriously, that's probably one of the first times I saw, like, a woman.
Yeah.
That, right? And my Auntie Nora when she was staying over.
What happened with your Auntie Nora?
She was, she's into wearing caftans.
Into wearing what?
You know, caftans.
Oh, yeah.
What caftans?
Big, bellowy sort of dresses.
Right.
And, yeah, I used to sit on the floor at home in front of the telly.
Sure.
She was on the chair behind.
Yeah.
She did a bit of a, sort of a Sharon Stone scene.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
There was no underwear.
No.
What age were you?
What was it like?
What age were you?
It's like a ripped tennis ball.
What?
I'm sort of on a bit of a mission to find out, you know, we've got a lot of animals and insects in the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we need them all?
It still amuses me.
So we've found out we've got to keep jellyfish. We've done octopus. She said we've got to keep them. This week, snails.
Do we need them?
Just doing some research, right? I'm sort of working my way through different creatures and insects and stuff that's on the planet.
Yeah.
Right? And finding out if we need them or not. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know much about snails?
Well, sea snails?
Well, yeah.
Snails in general. Don't know much about snails, land snails. Know a bit about sea snails, like whelks, top shells, that sort of thing.
Would you say they're important?
What sort of sense do you mean by important?
Say if we had to sort of get rid of some animals and insects and that because we're running out of room.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what I know about some snails. I don't know if this applies to sea snails as well. I mean, I called you today because a lot of other places are shut.
Yeah.
Right? So, I know they like to eat stamps, apparently. The glue on stamps. They love it, right?
Right.
Apparently a lot of letters and stuff aren't getting to where they're meant to be getting because snails are crawling into letterboxes and eating the stamps. That obviously doesn't apply to the sea ones, but that's a problem they're causing.
All right.
Were you aware of that?
No, I didn't know that.
Bet you're glad you answered the phone today. Right? They love beer.
Beer, yeah, who doesn't?
And also, I don't know if this is right, but I heard that they sleep for 13 years, or can do.
Right, I wouldn't know if they can sleep for 13 years or not, but... I mean, sea snails are pretty important, yeah, they do quite a good job in the sea. They graze on algae and they provide food for other animals. I mean, you can say that about any fish, you know, or any animal. Why do they exist?
Would you be upset if someone said we're getting rid of them?
Oh yeah.
You would be.
They're an animal, I wouldn't.
Forget being like favouritism and all that I get for them, right? There'll be other things knocking around you can sort of spend your time looking after. You'll still have a job, don't be worrying about that, because I'm not going to get rid of all the fish. Jellyfish need looking after, so you're safe.
Yeah.
But do we need them? Come on, there's loads of people saying, come on, we've got to move on through the animals, and you're holding them up saying, well, I want to keep them.
Well, who's saying we need to... That just sounds a bit crazy to me.
Just imagine. Do you know what I mean? And they would come to you because you're working in an aquarium, so they'd be asking for your advice.
Right.
And you're slowing it down.
Well, they asked for my advice and I'm giving it to them, so, that's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, but snails, I mean, like I say, they drink beer and that, What do they do apart from some food for a whelk?
They were around, their descendants were around a lot longer than we have been.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, they survived that long, so they must be doing something pretty good.
Well, apparently they sleep for 13 years, so really, even though they've been around for ages...
I think that sounds a bit... I don't think they sleep for 13 years.
Not all of them, just the tired ones. So, snails, do we need them?
Well, yeah, I just think they've got to, it's not for us to say, do we need them or not, we can't just...
So you think we should keep them?
Yeah, definitely.
Carl, I'm proud of you. That
he was getting really quite annoyed.
I know. What did he think he was doing? What? I don't know what you tell these people. I mean, you don't get their permission to play this out, do you? You just don't tell
the
them.
thing is, right, I sort of told him what it was about, but we won't say who he is or where he works, because it doesn't matter. I just needed to speak to someone who knows.
I know the fact that you were trying to get an answer out of him by suggesting that he would be safe, because he could look after jellyfish if he gave the okay to destroy snails.
He was getting livid, you can tell.
Oh, God. Brilliant. So they've been around a long time, but what have we done?
You know what happens to me?
Well, go on.
A homeless person called me a dickhead.
How did he know? Do you know him? Is that why?
He's like the local big issue fella.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he knows me, he sees me walking up and down the street.
Oh, that's how he knew you.
Right. So, normally I have a bit of a chat with him and that. And I walk past him. And, I can be a little bit cheeky with him, because I've been cheeky with him in the past, with stuff.
You pinched his eyes?
No, just, saying stuff like, God, you're always there, you got home to go to, and... stuff like that.
Yeah, just breaking the ice, Go on.
He knows, and he'd laughed at that, right, last time, so I thought I can be a bit cheeky, right? So he goes, do you want a big issue? I said, no. He said, come on, I've got loads of them, right? So I sort of said, when I was a kid, and I used to do a free paper around the free papers one, I said, just put them in the bin and go home, right? And he went, yeah, but how am I going to get any money doing that, you dickhead? Right, and just a quick example, one of the first ones we did, it was like AK, and the clue was exploding pet, and it was atomic kitten, right? Yeah. So you understand how it works now. These are your clues. The first one, that army has got some nice trenches.
That army has got some nice trenches. Excellent.
Yeah. And the initials there are DW.
Do you write some of the questions for 15 to 1?
Go on.
So that army has got some
a similar phrasing.
Trenches, okay.
Okay.
The second one.
What were the initials there, Karl, on that person?
DW.
DW.
Yeah. Right, the second one. The top of them curtains are all wrecked. All the materials all worn.
He acts it out though. We've got to get him on telly. We have got to get him on telly because his little face and his gestures.
That's the second one. The initials being HV. Okay, the top of those curtains are wrecked. All the materials all worn out. Right, HV. And the final one. Here's the final clue. I was in Texas the other week. Right, I tripped and landed on my knees in a puddle.
What's the initials?
WH for that one. So I was in Texas, I tripped up, landed on my knees in a puddle. So that's WH.
Incredible.
You've got it!
Is it great?
It's fantastic! It doesn't work!
Okay, time to join the record, Do you remember you're playing for these compilation albums? We got the Fatboy Slim DVD, Linda Green on VHS, and of course, Executive Decision, starring Kurt Russell as well.
Well, it's that time. It's getting exciting. We've got Rockbusters results, but before that, a little bit of monkey news with... Oh! Chimpanzee that! Monkey news! Karl Pilkington.
Brilliant. Nice to have... I haven't read that for a couple of weeks.
Go on then.
Alright, so, is that this little monkey?
Oh, yeah.
Who lives in Morocco.
Right, I'll just warn you now, you're on thin ice from last time, okay? So, make sure, is this real?
It's been
Don't say anything stupid, think about it. As you're saying it, think to yourself, oh, is that true? Do monkeys do that? Do they think like that? So, go on then.
So anyway, yeah, so there's this magician in Morocco, right? He's got a little monkey working with him, right? The way it used to work, magician used to do his thing on stage, do a little bit of magic, people loved it. Then the monkey came out, had a little cap, walked around the crowd and stuff, got the money, had a good little team thing going on, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the monkey's name was 86.
Right.
Because back then there was so many monkeys, it was like, oh, what names, do you know what I mean, what names do you use, what do you do? So they just named them, right? So this little monkey...
What, he had 86 other monkeys? What?
No, it's just that because a lot of monkeys were sort of working back then, helping magicians out, you know, doing bits and pieces, busking, what have you.
Well, Rick, you know how there's so many...
why would there be a confusion with that? If he only had one monkey, where's the confusion? People would go, oh, I'm not going to go and see that, I want to see 86, he's the better monkey. Do you know what I mean? What does it matter?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, why do they need... where was the confusion? With people going to the circus and going, what monkey are you going to go see tonight? I don't know. It wasn't a billing, was it, with a monkey?
But Rick, it's just the same with humans. You know, there's so many humans now that we can't give them names anymore.
Yeah,
they all have to have numbers.
Exactly, yeah, there's so many humans, you know, with 5 billion people, we can't give them names, it's impossible. But, you know, with a few monkeys
anyway, number
working...
22, go on.
So, anyway, there he is.
86.
86.
With his hat.
With his hat, walking around, getting the money.
Yeah.
Anyway, the magician sort of, you know, thinking about moving on. Because in Morocco, he'd sort of done all the tourist traps.
Sure.
So he had a word with the monkey, said, how about we...
See?
No, let him continue.
Think.
Let him continue.
He didn't have a word with the monkey.
Let him continue.
So what do you think about going over to Spain?
Yes. Sure. So, the monkey was in agreement?
So he said, go on then. Right, so they get in the car, and, like, the magician knew he'd have a bit of a problem on his hands, because you're not meant to take monkeys out of the country.
Yeah.
Right? So he thought, right, what I'll do, I'll get a car, right?
Right.
Stick the monkey in a boot, right? Get on the boat, and hopefully sort of, you know, stick it in some luggage and what have you.
Yeah.
We'll be over there, we'll be earning big money, everything's going to be great. So the monkey was like, brilliant. So they get in the car, they're on the way to the boat, and pull over at a petrol station. And just before filling it up, he opens up the boot and he goes, "You all right?" And then it's like, yeah, it's sound. So he leaves the boot open so it can breathe and get a bit of fresh air whilst it's filling up. Goes in to pay the money.
Yep.
pays the money, goes, I'm just paying for the...
Right, this monkey is not going to drive away in that car, or we're never doing this feature again.
Carl, what happens? What's number 86 up to?
So... 86. So,
That's the ending, isn't it? That's the story.
Come on, let Carl finish the story.
It better not be.
Brilliant. You're gonna love it. Right, so he's in the petrol station, and he's going, right, I'll pay for, pump 4. And the fella says, what are you talking about?
Pump 4, isn't that a monkey? No. Sometimes I use numbers for monkeys, sometimes I use... No, I mean pump 4.
Sure.
So he says, what are you talking about? There's no car at pump 4.
Right.
Keep going.
Sticks his head out of the door.
Yeah.
The monkey's giving it some. Went over to Spain on its own.
I don't know what to do.
Well, hang on, let's just get a couple of the facts right here.
Well, what do you mean, couple of the facts, right? There are no facts.
So, number 86. Number 86 he drove to Spain.
You are... honestly, Carl, you must know.
It was an automatic.
Right.
How
Carl,
did he...
you must know that is shit. There is no way a monkey...
That's the thing with this
He gets stopped at customs.
It's mental.
How would he get through customs, Carl? Has he got a passport?
No, he was sneaking about because he didn't have a passport.
So he parked and then snuck through.
Do you want the facts?
Let me see it. Right, I'll examine this, Rick, and we'll play a record.
Play a record, because I can't... That's nearly as bad as the armed robbery.
Give the answers then. This is ridiculous.
So, Steve, do you want to pick a winner?
I've got a winner when you give us the answers.
Okay, so the first clue was, that army has got some well nice trenches.
Yeah.
That was DW.
Who's that?
Dandy Warhols.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's good, yeah.
The second one, the top of them curtains are wrecked, all the material is worn.
Yeah.
HV, that's Holly Valance.
Oh, he got a phone call for a woman saying I haven't heard it, and he was talking to her off air, and she went, what is it? So-and-so, them's curtains. She went, oh right. He said, you know the thing around the top of the, curtain is a palmet, not a valance, and he went, cut her off.
Yeah, but... My auntie's always making balances on everything. I'll tell you about that next week, right?
I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Is this the one that farted for 5 minutes?
Yeah, the very same.
Yeah.
Right? So, we'll talk about that. I was in Texas, I tripped up, I landed on my knees in a puddle, WH, wet knee Houston, right?
Wet knee Houston.
Yeah.
Have we got a cheeky freak of the week?
Do you want one?
Yeah.
I think we should have a jingle for this.
Okay, I've got a jingle. It's very similar to chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. So, cheeky freak of the week. You've spotted a freak this week?
This is where somewhat, I think, offensively, you pick on someone who's not like other people and say it's your favourite freak of that week. Yeah, I remember we had the woman whose legs looked like the hind legs of a dog. We've had the little fella with the aging disease with the little head playing the piano. That was your favourite. I think that's your probably freak of the year, isn't it?
It's a pretty good one.
So what's this? Is it a man with a horrendous injury, or is it a congenital birth defect, or what?
Yeah, but you put it like that, and now it sounds like I'm being tight. Sounds like I'm being out of order. But I'm just giving him a mention.
Just giving him a big shout out.
Right. There's quite a lot going on in the freak world.
There always is.
You've been visiting hospitals the last week, have you, when we were away?
No, there was a thing on a website. This isn't even the one that I've picked, so
this is just a bonus.
This is a bonus freak.
Yeah,
go on then.
This is a free freak. Right? It's a fella called the Lobster Man.
The Lobster Man, of course.
Again, good name, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
What are you gonna get? Some succulent meat.
I like the idea that the vicar on the christening suggested that. I know you want to call him Mark. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Look at his hands.
What's his name? Mark Michael Webster. Right. Right. Have you
thought about a nickname?
Not really, no. Have you looked
at his hands?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that because
do you know they look a little bit like lobsters?
Well, yeah, but it's quite deformed. It's like, you know, we
Can I suggest Lobster Man?
That's terrible, Vicar. That is terrible, Vicar.
Pinchy.
Go on then. We're gonna see. This is what the sort of feature you come up with, Carl.
So, Lobster Man.
There's probably people listening now with, you know, lobster feet.
Right. Lobster hands.
So,
Squid Boy.
So, Lobster Man, what does Lobster Man do? Does he fight crime?
Not that much. Apparently he got into a bit of trouble. He was in a restaurant, and this was years ago, by the way.
And someone picked him to eat him.
No, so apparently the waiter said, "Oh, you shouldn't be sat here. You should be in my pan or something."
Oh dear!
And they had a fight, got out of hand.
Yeah.
Oh, got out of claw.
And yeah. So that was.
What do you mean they had a fight? What did he
do?
A waiter took the mickey out of someone with.
No.
Now, can I just make clear? I'm assuming it's his hands look a bit like those of a lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fused, so it's just like two big fingers. They're fused, I assume, probably in the womb, and they're just like, instead of like having 5 digits, they're fused in it. But he can pick stuff up, can't he?
Yeah.
What does he pick up? He mainly eats crabs and jellyfish, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So he was having a fight with the waiter, he snipped off his nose.
Right, so anyway,
he just held on to the waiter's bib.
Yeah,
and the waiter was screaming, "Go and get him off me!"
Yeah.
So anyway,
does he eat other lobsters? Does he think he would eat lobster, or is it kind of? Would he feel bad about eating lobster?
Right.
The little cheek of the freak that we've gone for anyway.
The what?
The little freak of the week.
Yeah.
Cheeky freak of the week. We've gone for this Siamese lad.
Okay.
Right. Happened back in.
You can't have a Siamese lad, can you?
All right. Yeah. This Siamese twins happened back in 1693.
Oh, he's got a date. Blimey, that's the first time ever.
Yeah. And all it was, he was doing all right for himself. He used to go on those circus things he used to do.
They're two people you're talking about, Carl. So we're going to him.
All right then. All right. They did this circus show, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going well. They're selling out the tents and stuff, people coming to see them.
Yeah.
He was doing alright for himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, before I said that, did you think a Siamese twin was a man with 2 heads?
Well, it can be, can't it? It depends. There's
two people, they're conjoined.
No, but it depends, doesn't it? The one that I shown you in that book that time was a fellow with 2 heads.
No, it wasn't. That was a stupid picture in one of your stupid books that he had a growth that looked a little bit like it had a face on it. It wasn't a man with 2 heads. You're the same sort of people who send potato chips to restaurants and say, "Doesn't it look like Norman Cook?"
Yeah.
It's not 2 heads.
We'll bin this feature.
No!
No,
they're 2 people. They're 2 people. Conjoined twins. Yeah. Right, so these...
they just happen to have a similar taste in clothes. Okay.
Anyway, so they were doing alright, and it all went wrong when he crossed the road, got run over. The lad with 2 heads got run over. That's it.
What? How is that cheeky freak of the week?
Just because it got my interest, and I kind of thought, why didn't he just look both ways?
I'm intrigued to know
Why wasn't he looking both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you get run over. What was it, 1629?
Yeah. Well, it's horses and that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, why wasn't he looking both ways? Carl Pilkington, you are a genius. Play